Have you ever listened to Elon Musk speak and thought, wait, why is this so easy to understand? Not because every word is perfect, not because he uses fancy vocabulary, but because his English feels clean, simple, direct. And maybe you've felt the opposite in your own life. In your head, you have good ideas, you know what you mean. But when you open your mouth in English, everything slows down. You search for the exact word. You translate. You worry. You hear your accent. And suddenly, your message gets smaller and weaker than your real intelligence. That gap between what you know and what you can say can feel painful. And here is the surprising truth. Clear English is not a gift. It is a habit. It is a style of thinking. And Elon Musk is a great example of that. When people say he communicates clearly, they often mean something very specific. He does not try to impress you with language. He tries to transfer an idea from his mind to yours with as little friction as possible. And if you are an English learner, that is exactly the skill you want. Because fluency is not about sounding like a dictionary. Fluency is about moving ideas smoothly. It is about making your listener relax because they can follow you. That is what confidence sounds like. So let's talk about what makes his English feel clear, and more importantly, how you can borrow the same habits for your own speaking, at work, in travel, in daily conversation, even when you make mistakes. First, Elon Musk often speaks in short, strong sentences. Not always, but often. He breaks big ideas into small pieces. He does not pack everything into one long sentence that collapses halfway. And this is something many English learners do without realizing. They try to build a perfect sentence, like a beautiful tower. They start speaking, then in the middle they remember a grammar rule. Then they change the structure. Then they try to add a better word. Then they panic because the listener is waiting. And a tower falls. Native speakers do not always speak in perfect grammar either. They just keep moving. They say one clear piece, then the next. Listen to that rhythm in your mind. One idea. Pause. Next idea. Pause. You do not need to sound fast. You need to sound steady. Imagine you are in a meeting and you want to explain a problem. Many learners try to say something like, "The reason why we are facing this kind of delay is because there are several issues that are related to the supplier, which we have been trying to solve since last week. But unfortunately," and then you get lost. A clearer version is, "We have a delay. The supplier has an issue. We are working on it. We need 2 more days." That sounds almost too simple, right? But simple is powerful. Simple is memorable. Simple is confident. Second, he uses normal words, common words, words that live in everyday life. He might talk about rockets and AI, but the language itself is not complicated. That is another secret. The topic can be advanced, but the English can be basic. And that is very good news for you, because it means you do not need rare vocabulary to sound intelligent. You need clear structure and strong meaning. A lot of learners believe, if I use advanced words, people will respect my English more. But often the opposite happens. Advanced words increase pressure. They increase mistakes. They make you hesitate. And the listener can feel that hesitation. Clear speakers choose the simplest word that does the job. Not because they are limited, but because they are focused. Try this in your own life. The next time you want to say, "I would like to elaborate on that point," you can just say, "Let me explain." The next time you want to say, "We need to implement a solution as soon as possible," You can say, "We need a fix, fast." Same meaning. Less stress, more flow. Third, he is comfortable with pauses. This is huge. Many English learners are terrified of silence. They think, if I pause, people will think I am not fluent. But in real life, pauses often sound confident. A pause shows you are thinking. A pause shows you are choosing your words. A pause gives the listener time to process. If you listen to clear communicators, you will notice they do not rush. They do not fill every second with sound. They allow space. And space is part of communication. If you are always rushing, you are not speaking with your listener. You are escaping. So next time you speak, give yourself permission to pause, especially before an important word, especially before a number, especially before a decision. Try it. We can deliver on Friday. Pause. Or Monday, if you prefer. That pause creates control. It creates calm. Now let's go deeper. Why do English learners struggle so much with clarity, even when they understand everything? One big reason is translation. When you translate, you are doing two jobs at the same time. You are running your thoughts through your native language, then trying to rebuild them in English. That takes time. And while you are doing that, you lose energy. You lose presence. The listener sees you looking up, searching, calculating. And you feel it too. You feel slow, even if you are actually smart. Thinking in English is not a magical switch. It is a training process. It starts small. You do not begin by thinking about philosophy in English. You begin with small daily thoughts. I need coffee. I should reply to that email. That sounds interesting. I do not agree. Let me think. Those small phrases become automatic. And when they become automatic, you create space in your brain for bigger ideas. A helpful exercise is to narrate your life quietly in English. When you are cooking, say the actions in your head. I am chopping onions. The pan is hot. I need more salt. When you are walking, say, it is cold today. The sky is gray. I will take the next street. This is not childish. This is how fluency is built. Your brain learns to produce English without asking permission from your native language. Another reason learners struggle is perfectionism. You want to be accurate, and that is understandable. But perfectionism is a trap because speaking is a live activity. Speaking is not a written essay. Speaking is like driving. You do not stop the car to check if you turned perfectly. You keep going. You adjust. You stay safe. In conversation, clarity comes from movement, not from perfection. Elon Musk is not loved because he speaks like a poet. He is understood because he speaks like an engineer. And engineers care about function. They care about what works. In your English, ask yourself, does this work? Does my listener understand? If yes, you are succeeding. Even if your grammar is not perfect, even if your accent is strong, even if you said the wrong preposition. Communication is not a test. It is a connection. Let's talk about fear. Fear is often the real reason people cannot speak clearly. Fear makes your mind go narrow. Your brain enters survival mode. And in survival mode, you cannot access your full vocabulary. You forget simple words. You speak too fast or too quiet. You try to escape the moment. Maybe you know this feeling. You are in a restaurant while traveling. The server asks a simple question. For here or to go? And suddenly, your brain freezes. Not because you do not know the words, but because you do not want to look stupid. You do not want that little moment of embarrassment. So your brain blocks. How do you fix that? You practice being okay with small embarrassment. You practice staying relaxed when you make a mistake. You even practice recovery sentences. These are simple phrases that save you when you get lost. For example, let me say that again. What I mean is, sorry, I chose the wrong word. Give me a second. Those phrases are not signs of weakness. They are signs of control. They tell the listener, I am still here. I am still leading my message. Clear communicators also do something else. They focus on the listener, not on themselves. Many learners are trapped inside their own head. How do I sound? Did I say it right? Is my accent bad? But clarity improves when you move your attention outward. What does this person need to understand? What is the simplest way to give them that idea? Try this shift in a real situation. Imagine you are explaining your job to someone at a party. If you focus on yourself, you might panic and use complex language. If you focus on them, you might say, I help companies save time. Or, I work with data to understand customers. That is clear. And you can add details later if they ask. Clarity often starts with the first simple sentence. Another thing Elon Musk often does is he uses concrete images. He speaks about real things: time, cost, speed, safety. He avoids vague, soft language when he wants to be understood. English learners often hide behind vague language because it feels safer. They say, it is kind of difficult, or there are some issues, or it is not very good. But clear speakers choose a clear direction. They say, this is expensive, this is risky, this will take 3 months, this does not work. You can do the same without being rude. You can be clear and polite. For example, instead of saying, I am not sure if this is possible, you can say, I do not think we can do this by Friday. Instead of saying, there might be a problem, you can say, this number is wrong. Let me check it. This kind of language feels scary at first because it feels too direct. But direct is not aggressive. Direct is respectful when it saves time and reduces confusion. And in many international workplaces, clarity is the most respected communication style. Now let's bring this into your daily English life, because you do not live inside interviews or big presentations. You live in emails, meetings, small talk, and quick decisions. If you are at work and you have to share an update, do not start with a long story. Start with the headline, the main point. We are on schedule, or we have a delay. Then give one reason. Then give the next action. This is how clear speakers speak. You can still be friendly. You can still be yourself. But your structure becomes strong. If you are traveling and you need help, do not try to build a perfect, polite sentence. Use a clear request. Excuse me, where is the train station? Can you help me? I need a taxi. Simple words are your friends when you are nervous. If you are in a conversation and you want to tell a story, keep the timeline simple. First, then, after that, finally. Those words are magic for clarity. They organize your thoughts. They also help you stop translating because the structure becomes automatic. And when you make a mistake, do not apologize too much. One quick correction is enough. Or just continue. Many learners stop and punish themselves. They repeat the sentence 5 times trying to fix it. But your listener usually understood you the first time. Keep moving. Movement creates fluency. Here is a personal style reflection that might feel familiar. There is a moment many learners have, usually after years of studying, when they realize, my problem is not English. My problem is my relationship with English. It is the tension, the pressure, the need to be perfect. And when that tension disappears, the words come out more easily. Your English does not suddenly improve overnight, but your access to your English improves. Your brain becomes available. So if you want to communicate more clearly, like the clearest public speakers, take this idea with you. Your job is not to produce perfect English. Your job is to deliver meaning. Before you speak, ask yourself a simple question. What's my one main point? Say that first. Then add one detail. Then stop. Let the other person respond. Communication is not a performance. It is a rhythm. And one more thing. Confidence does not come after fluency. Confidence comes before fluency. Not full confidence, maybe, but a small decision. A decision to stay calm. A decision to keep your sentences simple. A decision to allow pauses. A decision to not punish yourself for being human. Think about Elon Musk again. Clear or not, you can feel something in his speaking style. He is not begging the listener to approve his English. He is focused on the idea. That focus is the real lesson. When you focus on the idea, your English becomes clearer. When you focus on judgment, your English becomes smaller. So today, when you speak English, even for 1 minute, try a different approach. Slow down slightly. Use shorter sentences. Choose common words. Allow a pause. And if you make a mistake, let it pass like a car passing on the road. You notice it, and you keep walking. Because the goal is not to sound like someone else. The goal is to sound like you, but clearer. And that is a skill you can build, one calm sentence at a time.